My beloved child, there are moments when heaven decides to break the silence by touching the heart of humanity, and today is that very moment. Do not think that the hours you trembled in the darkness were meaningless, for every tear you shed became a radiant signal light in the unseen realm, alerting the angels that the hour of deliverance had come. For so long you have lived with the feeling of being just a faint voice in a sea of people, a fragment adrift among endless storms. You tried to cover your weariness with a smile, you attempted to conceal the cracks in your soul with silence, but you could not deceive me. I do not measure you by outward strength. I look into the depth of your faithfulness. And in the night when no one was near, when the whole world slept, you lifted trembling prayers to me. They were not lost. They became the foundation for the new chapter I am about to establish. You must understand, child, that every trial was never meant to break you, but to refine you. You have felt pressed to the point of shattering, but in truth, I have been purifying you as gold is refined by fire. If you lived only among ease, you would never discover the hidden strength I placed within you. Pressure is not your enemy. It is the test that proves your foundation can carry greater weight. Every waiting, every drop of sweat, every sigh has meaning. What you call delay is in fact alignment with the appointed time. You thought your life was trapped in dull repetition, but open your eyes, every cycle is ending. I am shifting what you once believed immovable. What you called a wall, I call a disguised door. What you named failure, I call preparation. You are not buried, you are planted like a seed. And a seed must be hidden in the dark earth before it can break forth into life. Child, the dark ground is not your grave. It is the birthplace of something new. Look back on your journey. Every time you wanted to quit but chose to rise again, you marked a victory. Every time you endured in silence instead of striking back, you etched the image of perseverance. The world may not have noticed, but heaven has recorded every detail. You did not pass through those days in vain. Even your weariness has been woven into my greater plan. Now the very moments you thought were useless will become proof that I can turn what seemed hopeless into a glorious testimony of my power. This is the moment you must see that weakness is not an end, but the entry point for me to step in. When your hands let go, I take hold. When your heart loses direction, I restore its rhythm. When your spirit grows faint, I breathe new life into you. It is precisely your helplessness that creates the space to reveal that I am almighty. If you were strong enough to rescue yourself, how would others behold my grace? But when your strength runs dry, that is when my light shines brightest. Now, my child, I am not merely comforting you, I am lifting you. This is not a distant promise. It is a reality unfolding even now. The very atmosphere around you is changing. The burdens that once weighed heavily upon you are giving way to new life. You may not sense it instantly, but believe the wind has shifted. Opposition no longer holds the power it once did. You thought you were collapsing, but in truth, you stand at the threshold of an extraordinary journey. Remember this, you are not called merely to endure, you are called to overcome. I have entrusted you with a mission that no one can strip away. The world may dismiss you, but in the very place you were rejected, I will open a door. The world may say it is too late, but I am the one who governs time. What you thought was lost forever, I will restore with increase. You will no longer knock in desperation, for the door is open. You will no longer beg for approval, for heaven's seal has already marked you. My child, I speak clearly, you are not lost. You are walking in the right direction. The winding paths are not detours, but a journey of training. Just as the people of Israel did not walk straight into the promised land, but had to pass through the wilderness, it was the wilderness that taught them to trust me. In the same way, you have walked through twisting roads, not to waste time, but to learn how to stand firm. For when you step into the land I have promised, you will not only possess it, but also know how to govern it. Do not fear when you see few walking beside you. Do not be surprised when your dream causes others to doubt. The calling within you is not measured by the number of voices cheering, but by the weight of my word established over you. You are not alone. I walk with you. I cover you under the shadow of my wings. When the enemy rushes in like a flood, I raise up a standard. When the storm rises, I speak a word, and the sea becomes calm. And I do this not only because you need it, but because you belong to me. The very place you thought was an abyss becomes a launching pad. The very place you thought was defeat becomes the stage for glory. I do not need human agreement to fulfill what I have ordained. I am not bound by statistics, by timelines, or by skeptical voices. I am the creator of all possibilities. What mankind calls impossible, I call certain. As it is written, for with God nothing shall be impossible. Luke 1:37. My child, know this, not one step of yours is taken in vain. Every curve you have walked, every season you thought was a dead end has already been written into the intricate design I set forth before you were even formed. You have asked, why the losses? Why the long nights without answers? But my child, it is through loss that you learn to cling to what cannot be shaken. It is through long nights that you discovered darkness is not the absence of me, but the backdrop upon which my light shines brighter. Do not let your heart believe that delay means denial. I have never ignored you. Waiting is only the covering that conceals what is being shaped. When a child in the womb has not yet reached full term, it cannot be born without endangering its life. In the same way, the promises I have planted in your soul must go through the time of nurture, of growth, so that when the hour comes, they are whole and complete. You may desire speed, but I desire strength. You may want to see it now, but I want you to stand firm when what I release arrives. My child, this is why trials come not to destroy, but to shape you. You thought pressure was a destroyer, but it is a tool in my hand. Just as clay must pass through the potter's wheel, turn pressed and molded before it becomes a vessel strong and useful, so too must your soul endure the shaping. If you only knew comfort, you would shatter easily when storms came. But now, after being pressed into narrow places, you have learned perseverance. After many tears, you have discovered that true strength is not found in self-reliance, but in surrender. I have seen you when you thought no strength remained, yet you whispered words of gratitude. I have seen you when every door was shut, yet you chose to kneel instead of complain. And my child, those very moments became knocks that reached my throne. I never disregard them. In the unseen realm, your small whispers stirred the armies of heaven. You thought you were praying in desperation, but in truth you were creating a spiritual tremor greater than you knew. Do not forget that the hidden things are the true foundations. A seed grows in the darkness of the soil. An infant develops in the secret place of the womb. A pearl forms inside the sealed shell. And my glory, being woven within you, is also formed in places no one sees. Others may look at you and think nothing is changing, but inside a quiet transformation is unfolding. And when the time comes, nothing will be able to stop it from bursting forth. My child, remember this. You are not merely a victim of circumstance, you are a witness of a great design. What you endure is becoming proof that I can make beauty from ashes, jewels from ruins. If you had never been crushed, you would never know healing. If you had never fallen, you would never know the strength of my hand lifting you. And if you had never been alone, you would never understand how near I truly am. Look to the mirror of those who went before you. Joseph was once sold as a slave, once cast into prison, yet through those seasons, that seemed to be the end, he was being prepared to become the steward of an entire nation. David once fled for his life, once slept in caves, yet it was in rejection that he learned to lean on me, so that later he would become a king after my own heart. My child, if they had not endured hardship, they would not have been strong enough to carry the weight of glory. So it is with you. Therefore, do not be afraid when you find yourself pressed into a dead end. Do not panic when everything seems to close with no way out. For it is in that very moment that you will see me open a path where none believed one could exist. You cannot grasp the fullness of my wisdom, but you can trust that I am never wrong. When I parted the Red Sea, the Israelites had never imagined such a thing. And I still do the same today, making a way where none thought a way could be found. My child, this is not mere encouragement. This is divine strategy. I am not patching up what is broken. I am recreating. I am not merely mending fragments. I am forming an entirely new shape. That is why you will not return as the same person you once were. What you have learned, what you have overcome, will make you different. And that difference cannot be denied. Walk in this assurance, you are not forgotten. On the contrary, you are engraved into the eternal plan. You are not drifting, you are being led. Do not let silence convince you that I have withdrawn. Silence is but the prelude to the great song that is about to rise. And when that song breaks forth, you will understand that every pause was necessary. As Scripture declares, all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:2-8. My child, hold your heart steady. What is coming will surpass what you imagined. And trust that I, the one who began, will also be the one who completes. My child, I want you to understand that this journey is not only for you to survive trials, but for you to step into an entirely new life. What has passed is no longer a burden, but a testimony. The wounds are no longer scars of shame, but crowns of glory. When you thought all that remained was ashes, I saw the foundation upon which a stronger, brighter work could be built. My child, this is not the end. It is the beginning of a season that no one can hinder. You once thought that survival was simply moving through the days, but existence is not the destiny I appointed for you. I have called you not only to exist, but to live a life of meaning, to become a vessel of light. This world is filled with darkness, but it is there that I have placed you as a lamp, and a lamp is not made to be hidden under a basket, but to be set on a stand to give light to many. Every sorrow you have endured, every hidden battle you have fought with perseverance, was not only for you, but for those who would follow after to find hope. My child, remember that this calling is not small, it is eternal. There are those who may never read a book, yet they will read your life. There are those who may never step into a temple, yet they will step into your embrace. And when they see you still standing after the storms, they will know it was not by your strength, but by my hand. Your life itself is a message, a song without words, a declaration of my faithfulness. I have not called you to blend into the crowd, but to stand out as a sign. You may not realize it, but every step you take is being watched. Even when you think you are unseen, there are eyes upon you, and what they see in you will be testimony of me. That is why I did not allow you to be destroyed. That is why I preserved you, even when you had no strength left to pray. My child, you are a living witness that darkness cannot extinguish light. Remember, the limits others place upon you are not the final verdict. They may say you are not skilled enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough, but my word is the truth. When I have spoken, no earthly voice can overrule. When I have chosen, no hand can erase your name. And I have called you not to hide, but to rise. Do not let fear bind you. Do not let old memories chain you. You are no longer imprisoned in your former self. You have been made new with a destiny that cannot be stolen. My child, the change you feel is not fleeting. It is the sign of a new era in your life. Just as the dawn cannot be stopped, this unfolding cannot be hindered. I am tearing down invisible ceilings, removing barriers that once restrained you. You will see doors open where you never thought possible. You will hear invitations from places you never dared to dream of. And when it happens, do not be confused, for I am the one who has arranged it. You do not need to strive for recognition for. My affirmation is enough to place you in the right position. You do not need to compare yourself with anyone, for your journey is unique. I did not create you to be a copy. I formed you as a distinct masterpiece. And my child, the world needs what I have placed within you. Do not underestimate that value. Do not doubt that calling. It is not only to bless you, but for you to become an instrument of blessing to many. My child, prepare yourself. This is no longer a season of testing, but a season of commissioning. I am bringing you out of the shadows of hiding into the light of unveiling. This is not the time to conceal yourself anymore. This is the time to rise. And when you rise, it will not be to glorify yourself, but so that my glory may be revealed. The world will know that there is a God who is still at work, for they will see me through your very life. Take courage, my child. You will not walk alone. I have gone before you and prepared the path. I have sent angels to guard you. I have placed wisdom in your mind and fire within your spirit. You will enter places that once rejected you. You will speak in halls that once turned their backs on you. And your testimony will resound not because of eloquence, but because of the living truth that I am still the Eternal One. My child, remember this. I not only deliver, but I restore. I not only heal, but I exalt. You will not return to the old place. You will step into a new place, one that no one can deny. You once thought you were only asking for comfort, but I have given you a crown. You once prayed for an escape, but I have granted you a territory. This is not a small compensation, but a great reward. Engrave this upon your heart. The victory has already been decreed. You no longer need to ask when, for the time is now. You do not need to figure out the path, for I have already marked it out. Walk forward in certainty, for your name has been written into the design of heaven. Do not doubt, do not delay, do not look back. Move forward, for your harvest has come, my child. My child, I want you to know that from the moment you entered this world, I have never left your side for even a single moment. When you uttered your first cry, the angels recorded it. When you took your first stumbling steps in childhood, my hand kept you from falling too deeply. As you grew, walking through seasons of misunderstanding, disappointment, and betrayal, I was still there. You may not have felt it, but I have always been nearer than your very breath. My presence does not depend on your emotions, but upon the everlasting covenant I have established. There were days you asked, Lord, where are you? In the midst of this ruin, my child. If you open your spiritual eyes, you will see my footprints pressed along the road you have walked. When you collapsed, it was I who lifted you up. When you no longer had strength to pray, it was I who interceded for you with groanings beyond words. When you were lonely in the dark night, I was the gentle whisper urging you to stand firm. Never mistake my silence for absence. I am not silent to abandon you, but to grow your faith. I conceal myself not to punish, but to prepare for a greater revelation. My child, look back on the path you have traveled. How many times did you think you would collapse, and yet you still stand? Have you ever wondered why? It was not because of your own strength, but because I shielded you. The enemy plotted, laid traps, stalked your steps, but in the end they could not prevail, for an unseen wall of fire has surrounded you. The world only saw your weakness, but they did not see that I stood before you. It was that protection which kept you from being swallowed by the raging waves. My child, my companionship is not like the help of men. People may promise and then forget. They may speak, but not keep their word. But once I have spoken, will surely fulfill. I walk with you, not only in days of brightness, but also in the darkest nights. When the light seems extinguished, I am the light. When the doors slam shut, I am the key that opens them. When you think no one else remains, I am the one who sits beside you. Remember, I am not the one who merely watches from a distance. I step into the very depths of your pain. I do not only observe, I share in it. When you weep, I weep with you. When you tremble, I cover you with my wings to keep you from collapsing. When you think your cries vanish into the void, they have in truth reached my throne. And that throne is not carved of cold stone, but is a throne of mercy, always inclined to hear you. My child, this journey is not easy, but it is never lonely. Every step you take, I go before you, beside you, and behind you. I go ahead to clear the path. I walk beside you as a companion. I remain behind you to block every attack from the rear. You are surrounded on every side. Do not fear. Do not think of yourself as a wandering grain of sand. You are encircled by an unseen army. When Elisha prayed that his servant's eyes would be opened, he saw the mountain full of horses and chariots of fire from the Lord. My child, it is the same around you. At times I know you think I delay. You see promises not yet fulfilled, doors not yet opened, and your heart grows weary. But trust, this delay is not denial. Delay is preparation, so everything may be ready, so you may be mature enough to carry what I give. If I grant too soon, the blessing could turn into a burden. If I open the door too quickly, the room beyond may not yet be strong enough to hold you. But now, my child, the appointed time draws near. You have learned to stand firm. You have discovered the value of patience. And it is this very endurance that makes you worthy to step into a new season. Do not think this journey is only so you may witness miracles. It is also that you may become a miracle for others. When they see you walk with steadfast faith, they will recognize that there is a living God. When they see you rise after failure, they will believe restoration is real. My child, your life itself is the loudest sermon, the undeniable testimony, and this does not come from theory but from your lived experience. My child, I do not only desire that you trust me in words, but in every step you take. Believe that even when you cannot see, I am at work. Believe that even when you cannot feel, I am present. Believe that even when you do not understand, my plan remains perfect. Faith is not grasping with the eyes, but holding steady within the heart. And you have proven that your faith has not been crushed. That is why I will take you further. Rest in this truth: you are never abandoned. You are not fighting alone. When you are too weak to walk, I will carry you. When you are too weary to speak, I will declare on your behalf. When you think you have lost direction, I will show the way. And when storms rise, you will see me standing in the midst, speaking a word, and every wave will be stilled. As Psalm 4:6-1 declares, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. My child, hold this word as a seal upon your heart. Let it become your very breath. Do not tremble when darkness thickens, for you have light beside you. Do not fear when enemies surround you, for the heavenly host encamps around you. And do not doubt when waiting seems long, for I have appointed the time for you. Everything written shall be fulfilled, and I will walk with you to the very end, never leaving you halfway. My child, you must understand that the journey you walk is not a series of random events. Not a single step is wasted, not a single turn is outside my intent. I am the one who created the universe by my word, and I am the one who writes the story of your life with a pen no one can erase. The winding paths you have traveled are not to confuse you, but to shape and refine you. I do not let you fall into misdirection. I am leading you along a way the natural eye cannot yet see. There are times when you ask me to open a door, but instead I close it. You may feel rejected, yet, in truth, it is protection. If I allowed you to walk through doors that were not ready, the blessing itself would become a burden. What you see as my refusal is in fact my shielding you from a misguided path. You think you have been left behind, but in reality, I am setting the hour for you to appear at the right moment, in the right place, fulfilling the right purpose. My arrangements are never late, never early, but always precise. Do not think you must struggle to find your own way. I am the one who goes before you, and I am the way. Every turn I permit you to take carries a lesson of preparation. When you walk through the desert, you learn the lesson of provision. When you face the great sea, you learn the lesson of deliverance. When you pass through the dark valley, you learn the lesson of comfort. And when you stand upon the mountain heights, you learn the lesson of praise. Each stage has meaning, and together they form a grand design. My child, you are not wandering alone in the dark. I have placed a lamp in your path. At times the light seems only enough to reveal a few steps ahead and you grow afraid. But I have done this intentionally because if you could see the entire journey, you would lean on your own strength. I give you just enough to walk by faith, and with each step forward a new light shines. This is how I teach you to trust rather than seize control over your life. You have often asked, why must I lose? Why must I take the longer road, my child? It is because you are not only called to reach the destination, but to be formed in the process. If you only fix your eyes on the end, you will miss the treasures along the way. Yet I, the one who formed time itself, know that every step is necessary. You are not lost. You are being led to a place that no one but I can bring you. Do not fear unexpected turns. Do not panic when the way ahead seems blocked. Each time I close a path, it is to open another. What you see as an obstacle is actually a signpost. When a door shuts, I do not leave you stranded in a dead end. I am turning the key for a better way. My child, fix your focus on my voice rather than the circumstances. That voice is the compass that never fails. Soon you will understand why certain things had to happen. Some dreams I delayed not to deny them, but so they would mature with you. Some relationships I removed not to leave you empty, but to keep you from being bound to what does not belong to your future. Some desires I changed, not because they were bad, but because they were too small compared to what I have prepared. When the canvas is unveiled, you will declare, if not for you, I would have gone astray. I do not guide you by chance. I lead you by sovereignty. Even your tears are counted in my plan. Even the mistakes you made I can turn into lessons. The enemy thought it was destroying you, but I shaped it into a stepping stone. Every failure is not the end, but a marker where I redirected you toward what is right. This is why you will never truly be lost as long as you cling to me. Remember, my child, I do not merely lead you to blessing, but I also lead you through preparation. If I brought you into fulfillment without shaping you first, you would not have the strength to hold it. But because I love you, I will not allow you to step into the new until you are ready. I will refine, prune, and bend your will until a spirit strong enough is formed within you. And when I see you have matured, I will open not just a door but an entire path wide before you. You will come to see the clear difference between the road I lead and the road people choose on their own. The way of man often begins wide, but ends in dead ends. My way may at times seem narrow and steep, but it opens into life. Do not choose by appearance, choose by my word. And as you walk, though others may not understand, do not be shaken, for it is your obedience that will unlock wonders that reason cannot explain. You do not need to fear that you will miss what I have ordained, for once I have written your name into the plan, no force can erase it. You may slow down because of fear, but I will lift you up. You may lose your way because of weakness, but I will bring you back. You may think you are broken beyond repair, but I will reshape you. My child, I do not abandon the work of my own hands. What I begin, I will bring to completion. Be at peace, for my guidance is never wrong. You do not need the map of the world, for you have my word. You do not need human approval, for heaven itself has confirmed you. You do not need to worry if you have enough strength, for I am your strength. Go forth without hesitation and without confusion, for I am going ahead to prepare the way. And everything around you, whether favorable or against you, must ultimately serve my purpose. My child, I am not only the one who guides you, I am also the one who fights for you. Along this journey, there will be battles too great for you, but never too great for me. There will be forces that try to surround you, but they tremble when I speak. The enemy may think it can destroy you, but it does not realize that the very moment it strikes, I am building an even stronger wall of protection around you. My protection is not a flimsy covering, but a fortified stronghold through which no arrow can pierce. Do not think that you must fight alone. I have already assigned hosts of angels to encamp around you. When the enemy plots, I have already devised the counterplan. When darkness arrays itself, my light has already gone before it. You only see a small fragment, but in the unseen realm, the battle is already tilted in your favor. Do not tremble when you feel the pressure, for that pressure is merely a sign that victory is near. I allow you to feel the weight of the battle, so that you may know the worth of the triumph. My child, do not fear accusations, mockery, or scornful eyes. They hold no authority to define you. I have defined you as chosen, and no lie can erase that seal. Remember that even when Goliath towered over David, he did not tremble because he knew I was with him. So it is with you. Do not look at the size of what opposes you. Look at the power of the one who upholds you. You are not only shielded from danger, you are being prepared to walk through it. I did not design you merely to evade, but to stand firm. The storm may rise, but a house built on the rock will not fall. The fire may blaze, but those who stood in the furnace with one like the Son of God were untouched. You too will pass through, and not as a mere survivor, but as one who overcomes with victory. Do not forget that I have given you spiritual armor. My word is a sharp sword, faith is a mighty shield, righteousness is a breastplate, and salvation is a helmet. You are not bare in the battlefield, you were equipped long before. Every prayer you lift, every time you refuse compromise with darkness, you are raising your shield and wielding your sword. The enemy trembles not at your power, but at the one who dwells within you. Remember, my child, the enemy does not have the final word. It may roar, but it has been stripped of authority. It may resist, but it cannot prevail. I marked victory before the battle even began. You only need to stand firm, hold to faith, and witness my deliverance. Remember, the Red Sea did not part because my people struggled, but because I commanded. The walls of Jericho did not collapse by human might, but by a word from heaven. So too, the battles of your life will end with my intervention, not with your fragile efforts. My child, understand this. My protection is not merely defensive, it is offensive. I do not only keep you safe, I strike down the adversary. Those who once tried to bury you will soon see you lifted high, not for vengeance, but to display my glory, not for them to bow to you, but for them to know that I am the living God. In the very place they thought your story would end, I will cause you to rise stronger than ever before. Be strong, for this battle is not meant to consume you, but to prove that you belong to me. When the world declares your defeat, that is when I proclaim your victory. When people see only your weariness, I see a hidden strength rising. When every system turns its back, I prepare a table before your enemies, and that table cannot be removed, for it is set by my own hand. My child, you must understand that every pressure is not meant to crush, but to affirm. Every accusation is not meant to condemn, but to give me an opportunity to vindicate. Every battle is not meant to destroy, but to provide me the chance to reveal my power. You are not abandoned on the battlefield. You have the Supreme Commander. He commands the armies of heaven, he governs the skies, and he bestows an irreversible victory. And you, my child, are the one who inherits that triumph. Remember this, no weapon forged against you will prosper. They may be crafted, but they will shatter before me. They may be raised, but they will collapse at the sound of my decree. I do not promise the absence of battles, but I guarantee that you will always overcome. Victory is not some distant goal. It is your inheritance already appointed to you. Therefore, my child, walk with the posture of one who has already won. Do not tremble at threats. Do not falter before giants. Do not lose heart when the fight drags on. I was there from the beginning, and I will remain until the end. You are not forsaken, not forgotten, not consumed. You are shielded, guided, fought for, and positioned in glory. My child, I am not merely calling you out of the shadows. I desire to transform you into a new creation. Deliverance is complete only when it breaks, not just the chains around you, but also the strongholds within you. You have been led out of captivity, but now I long to cut away the old habits, the old thoughts, the old fears that have clung to you for too long. True freedom is not only walking out of prison, but learning to live as one who has been set free. You once lived within invisible barriers, believing the lies the world planted. You once thought you lacked value, lacked worth, lacked strength to do something great. But my child, those were only layers of dust. Your true essence is not defined by wounds or harsh words, but by my hands. I have named you a masterpiece. I have breathed life into you. I have marked you as my child, and no lie can erase that seal. My child, allow me to change the way you see yourself. You are not the product of mistakes. You are the proof of grace. You are not debris. You are a vessel rebuilt. You are not lost. You are one being led home. When you think your life is ruined, I see an unfinished blueprint. And when you call yourself useless, I whisper, you are the piece I designed for my great plan. I know you have struggled to believe in yourself. You have thought that the cracks within you were evidence of weakness. But my child, see them differently. Cracks are where my light shines through. When the vessel is no longer whole, it becomes the channel through which glory flows outward. People search for flawless perfection, but I choose broken fragments to craft a masterpiece. What you call flaws become the very gateways through which my power is revealed. My beloved child, the transformation I am bringing is not a cloak that covers the surface, but a recreation from the very roots. I do not desire that you merely adjust your behavior for a season. I long to renew your mind. I do not only want you to avoid the shadows, I want you to delight in the light. I do not simply want you to be free from fear. I want you to taste true peace. When your mind is renewed, you will see circumstances through a new lens. What once terrified you will become the very place where you lift your songs of praise. What once drove you to despair will stand as testimony of hope. My child, open your heart to receive this renewal. It may ache, for I will touch wounds you have long hidden. It may unsettle you, for I will tear down strongholds of thought you once leaned upon. Yet only when the old collapses can I raise up the new. Do not cling to outdated definitions. Do not imprison yourself within memories of the past. You are no longer who you were. You are becoming who I designed you to be from the beginning. Know this, the past cannot block your future. Mistakes cannot erase your calling. Failures cannot cancel grace. The world may rehearse your defeats, but I repeat my promise. And that promise stands firm. You will be transformed from glory to glory, from strength to strength. You will not remain in the place of mere survival. You will step into abundance. Do not be troubled, my child, when you see yourself set apart from others. I did not call you to be a copy, but to be an original. Every scar you carry, every path you have walked, has shaped the unique voice I intend the world to hear. Do not compare. Do not diminish your worth. I have fashioned you as a vessel set apart, and such a vessel is only truly useful when it holds the exact form I gave it. This transformation will not stop with you. It will flow into your family, your community, and even generations after you. When you allow me to change you, you become a channel through which I transform many. Imagine the small flame kindled within you, spreading to those around you. A single spark can brighten an entire darkened room. A renewed life can ignite hope in countless souls. Personal transformation is never merely private. It is woven into the greater plan I am unfolding. Therefore, resist not when I press upon the places you prefer to hide. Do not shrink back when I ask you to release what feels safe. It is in surrender that the door to renewal opens. It is in yielding that the path to freedom is revealed. You do not lose by letting go, you simply free your hands to receive more. Trust, my child, that the work I have begun within you will not halt midway. It will continue until you become the masterpiece I envisioned. And when that day comes, not only will the circumstances around you change, but your very essence within will be made new. You will rise no longer trembling from the past, no longer chained by memory, but free, strong, and full of authority. This is the proof that I do not only rescue, I transform. I do not only shift seasons, I change the person. The inward renewal I give is not only for your relief, but for your maturity of spirit. Maturity is not measured in years, but in the ability to stand firm in storms without being swept away. I am teaching you not merely to endure, but to reign. A child may cry when faced with obstacles, but a warrior stands tall, lifts the shield, and presses forward. My child, I am moving you from the place of infancy to the place of a soldier, from one who only receives to one who gives, from weakness to strength in me. Have you ever realized that nothing you have gone through was wasted? Every failure, every fall, every tear became a lesson engraved upon your heart, and now when you look back, you see that you are no longer the same. What once terrified you, you can now face with calmness. What once discouraged you, you can now walk through with a smile. My child, this is the sign of maturity. Maturity does not arrive in a single moment. It comes through a long process in which day by day you chose to place your trust in me. This maturity is not given to you so that you may boast, but so that you may be anointed for greater works. I did not give you strength just so you could stand firm on your own, but so that you could hold up those who are trembling. I did not refine you in the fire merely so that you might survive, but so that you might become a flame that ignites weary hearts. You thought the journey was only for your rescue, but in truth it was also for your commissioning. When I pour my oil upon your life, it is not only for you to be blessed, but for you to become a source of blessing to many. Picture this: when you step into a room without speaking much, the atmosphere shifts. Not because you are greater than others, but because of my presence within you. The anointing makes even the simplest words seeds of life. The anointing makes even silence carry heavenly weight. And this anointing cannot be bought, copied, or borrowed. It flows only from surrender and faithfulness, choices you made in the unseen days when no one was watching. I have seen you worship in the quiet room, when no one applauded, when no one noticed. I have seen you choose prayer instead of surrender, trust instead of bitterness. Those very moments opened the flow of oil. The world believes influence comes from talent, status, or recognition. But in my kingdom, influence comes from union with me. And it is this union that now clothes you with spiritual authority. I have not called you to be a faint shadow among the crowd. I have called you to be the echo of heaven's voice. And that voice is not only heard from your lips, but witnessed through your life. People will look at your endurance and learn patience. They will see your restoration and learn to hope. They will observe the anointing upon you and believe that God is still at work. Do not think that the anointing is only for those who stand on platforms. It is also for those who remain faithful in the secret place. A mother praying for her children, a father quietly sowing seeds of faith, a young person keeping a pure heart in a chaotic world. All of these can carry the anointing, and you, my child, have been chosen to bear that oil. It will flow through your words, your actions, and the very way you live. But remember this: the anointing does not come to bring you glory, but to bring me glory. It does not come to make you stand out, but to lift me high. And as you keep your heart pure, I will continue to pour more. Oil never runs dry for those who preserve the vessel of humility. Oil is always fresh for those who keep the fire of worship. Oil always overflows for those who remain under my power. This maturity also means you are no longer swayed by the opinions of others. You no longer live to please them, but to please me. You are no longer intoxicated by praise nor shattered by criticism. You know who you are in me. That is the true foundation of freedom. And when you walk in that freedom, no force can bind you. You will see that when maturity and anointing come together, your life becomes a powerful instrument. Dry places will revive when you step into them. Broken hearts will find comfort when they hear you speak. The hopeless will find reason to rise again when they see you walk forward. My child, this is the mission I have prepared, not only for you to be renewed, but for you to become the very fountain of renewal. Continue to walk forward with steadfast confidence. Do not worry about whether you are enough, for I, myself, am your sufficiency. Do not fear that you will lack, for I am abundance itself. Do not doubt that you will fail, for I have already ordained your victory. My child, this growth is not the final destination, but the launching pad for greater things yet to come, and the anointing upon you will make a way, break chains, and reveal my glory to the world. My child, when transformation has shaped your soul and maturity has strengthened your steps, you now enter a deeper realm mission. You no longer live merely for yourself, but your life becomes a message. I did not renew you simply so you could remain safe within your own circle, but so you could be a living testimony that I am still at work in this world. Every scar from your past, every battle you have overcome, is more than a memory, it is evidence. And those very evidences will resound as powerful testimonies, drawing wandering souls back to the light. Remember, the world does not need more empty theories. It needs living proof. A suffering soul will not be persuaded by lofty philosophies, but by someone who once wept and now has had their tears wiped away. A wounded heart will not find freedom in hollow words, but in the hands of one who was once broken and has been healed. And my child, it is your very life that will be a testimony louder than any sermon. People will see that I can lift the fallen, mend the shattered, and transform the hopeless into carriers of hope. My child, this mission is not a burden, it is grace. I do not send you with empty hands. I have placed within you all that is needed. The wisdom you carry today comes not only from books, but from walking through the shadows. The strength you stand in now is not only from your effort, but from my upholding in every storm. The gentleness in your voice flows not just from temperament, but from the countless times I comforted you in loneliness. All these things weave together into the very equipment you need to walk in your mission. Do not think, my child, that you must be flawless to be used. I do not call the perfect, I call the willing. Christ chose ordinary fishermen to change the world, not because they were skilled, but because they dared to follow. In the same way, I chose you not because you surpass others, but because you opened your heart to me. Your weakness does not hinder me. It becomes the very stage where my grace is most fully displayed. And my child, your mission is not merely to speak, but to live. The authenticity of your love will echo louder than lengthy sermons. A hug given to the outcast, a word of encouragement to the discouraged, a patient response to the difficult, these small gestures carry heavenly weight. For in my kingdom, greatness is often wrapped in humility. You will come to see, my child, that every step you take carries meaning beyond what eyes can see. When you choose forgiveness over resentment, you break invisible chains in the atmosphere. When you choose trust over doubt, you plant seeds of faith in barren ground. When you choose love over selfishness, you reflect my image in a cold world. This is how my kingdom spreads, not by sword, but by transformed lives. But my child, mission also requires courage. The world will not always applaud when light shines. Darkness will try to cover it, Opposition will rise, and at times you will feel alone. Yet remember this, you do not walk alone. I have promised. Surely I am with you always, even to the very end of the age. Matthew 28:20. That promise was not only for long ago, it is for you today. Wherever you go, my presence goes with you. Whatever you face, my hand still covers you. My child, do not measure the mission by the immediate results you see. You may speak a word and see no change in anyone at once, yet that seed is silently taking root. You may perform a simple act of kindness and think it small, yet it has moved the heavens. You do not need to see everything with your eyes to believe that my work is being fulfilled. For the seed I sow through, you will bear fruit in its season. Trust the process, for I am the one who brings all things to completion. My child, the wonder of this mission is that as you carry it out, you also will be healed. When you comfort another, your own heart is calmed. When you pray for someone else, your faith is lifted. When you give love, your soul is filled to overflowing. The mission is not only a responsibility, but also a stream of healing that flows without ceasing, drawing you ever nearer to me. My child, walk forward with strength, for you are not merely a survivor, you are one who is sent. You are not only a witness, you are an instrument. You are not only one who has been saved, you are a bearer of salvation. And as you remain faithful, I will open doors no one can shut and lead you into places you never imagined. Not that you might be exalted, but that my name may be glorified through your life. My child, when I called you out of the darkness, I did not leave you standing still at the crossroads, but I led you into a new path. That road may not have appeared on your map, but it was inscribed in my plan before you were born. I did not only entrust you with a mission, I walk with you step by step so that it may be fulfilled. Yet, my child, to enter into what I have prepared, you must clothe yourself with faith. For without faith, you cannot fully receive what I give. Faith is not a fleeting feeling, but a steadfastness within the soul, even when your natural eyes see nothing. When Abraham left his homeland, he did not know where he was going, but he trusted me, and that faith was credited to him as righteousness. So it is with you. You do not need to see the whole journey. You only need to take my hand and follow. My light will shine enough for each step, like a lamp for your path, not the blazing sun all at once. My child, I long to teach you that faith is to walk when you cannot yet see, to believe when you cannot yet touch, and to sing praises even while standing in the dark. You may ask, how can I be certain this is the right way? My child, I have placed within you a peace that the world cannot give and cannot steal. That peace is my sign. When you find calm in the midst of the storm, it is my assurance that you are in the right place. When you feel a stirring within like an alarm sounding, it is my whisper calling you to pause. Do not seek confirmation from the crowd, for the crowd often runs after the easy road. Seek confirmation in me, for I see the end from the beginning. My child, the journey of faith is not a single step taken once and forgotten, but a continual process. Each day you will be called to step out a little farther, to trust a little more, to release another portion of control, so that I may act more fully. Faith is not mere agreement in the mind, but surrender in life. When you lay your burdens upon me, that is faith. When you abandon your own plans to embrace mine, that is faith. When you dare to step forward, though no shoreline is yet in sight, that is faith. My child, the enemy will seek to sow doubt in your heart. It will whisper, "Did God really say that?" That is the same question it used to unsettle Eve from the beginning. But my child, do not let your ears give more attention to lies than to my voice. When you doubt, remember the times I have delivered you. When you waver, look back at the marks I have engraved in your life. The victories of the past are reminders that I remain faithful in the present and in the days to come. My child, I know there are moments when you will feel weary. There will be days when your faith seems like a flickering lamp, reduced to only a faint spark. Yet, my child, even that small spark is enough for me to breathe into a flame. Do not think that I require you to always be strong. All I ask is that you hold on to me, even if it is by the thinnest thread. It is I who will uphold you, I who will supply strength, and I who will complete the work begun in you. My child, the journey of faith will also open doors of wonder. You will see doors that had been locked for years suddenly swing wide open. You will encounter people I have prepared who will become companions, supporters, and forerunners on your path. Do not dismiss such alignments as coincidences, for they are the traces of my hand. You will step into circumstances beyond your imagination, and there you will perceive the delicate depth of my providence. My child, faith will teach you to see trials through different eyes. Instead of perceiving them as burdens, you will recognize them as lessons. Instead of labeling them as failures, you will see them as stepping stones. Instead of viewing them as rejection, you will understand them as protection. Everything I allow serves to shape you for the mission. Just as the potter uses fire to harden the vessel, I too use trials to fortify your soul. My child, I want you to understand that faith is not only the beginning, but the very key that carries you to the end. You cannot rely solely on the wisdom of the flesh to walk in my plan. You need to lean on faith as daily breath. If you begin with faith, continue in faith, and finish with faith. For the righteous shall live by faith. Romans 1:17. My child, this is the time I am calling you to step out without hesitation, without looking back, without compromise. You have endured the season of preparation. You have persevered through the season of testing, and now you stand at the season of unveiling. Step forward, for I go before you, leveling the mountains, breaking down the iron gates, and placing hidden treasures into your hands. My child, as I lead you on this journey of faith, I do not promise you will never face storms. On the contrary, I have already told you, there will be days when the sky darkens, fierce winds rise, and waves appear ready to swallow your soul. But my child, it is precisely in those moments that true faith is revealed. Faith is not walking on level ground, but standing firm upon the surging sea. Faith is not singing when all is favorable, but lifting praise when darkness surrounds. My child, remember the disciples on the boat when the storm struck. They panicked, thinking they were about to perish while I remained at rest. They awoke me, crying out, "Teacher, we are perishing." But I said to them, "O you of little faith, why are you so afraid?" And with a word the wind ceased and the sea grew calm. My child, that very story is a reminder for you today. Storms do not dictate your outcome, for I am the one who commands both wind and waves. You need not fear, only believe. My child, there will be times when it feels like every door has closed, every hand has withdrawn, and you must walk alone. In those days, the voice of doubt will echo, saying, "If God is truly with you, why is it like this?" But my child, do not let your heart be deceived. Silence does not mean absence. Sometimes I lead you through wilderness, not to abandon you, but to teach you to know me, not by feeling, but by faith. I want you to trust that even when you cannot see my hand, you can rest in my heart. My child, holding faith in adversity does not mean you must appear strong at all times. It means daring to cling to me, even while tears stream down. It means taking small steps forward, even when your legs tremble. It means choosing to trust my promise, even when circumstances deny it. Remember, faith is not the absence of doubt, but the decision to stand with me, even when surrounded by uncertainty. My child, I know your heart has trembled in fear. I know of the sleepless nights, the mornings you awoke with a heavy spirit. Yet in those very moments, I was sitting beside you, wiping each tear and whispering into your soul, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 4:1-10. You do not walk through the darkness alone. I myself am the light that guides your way. I myself am the fortress that surrounds you. My child, adversity is not the enemy of faith, but the very environment where faith matures. Without strong winds, a kite cannot rise. Without fire, gold cannot be refined. In the same way, your faith cannot grow deep if it only exists in safety. I allow trials not to destroy you, but to strengthen your core, so that when you stand firm after the storm, you may become a witness for others. My child, the enemy seeks to use adversity to destroy you, but I turn adversity into a platform to lift you higher. Look at Joseph. He was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. Yet all of these became the very path that led him to the throne of Egypt. Joseph once said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 5:0-20. In the same way, what the enemy intends for harm, I will turn for your good and for the blessing of many others. My child's steadfast faith is not about striving alone, but about clinging tightly to me. When Moses stood before the Red Sea and the people panicked, I declared, "Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." You do not need to change the situation by your own strength. You only need to stand firm in faith, and I will act. Sometimes the greatest courage is not to charge ahead, but to remain unshaken, waiting for me to move at the appointed time. My child, remember that enduring faith bears great fruit. I have promised, those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy. Psalm 1:2-6-5. Every tear sown in the darkness of night will become an abundant harvest in the new day. Every silent prayer will become a resounding testimony. Every trembling step will become a steady stride into the future. Not one of your sacrifices is in vain, for I am the righteous, one who remembers everything you have done in faith. My child, I call you to be courageous. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means stepping forward even while fear lingers. Joshua trembled when he succeeded Moses, but I spoke to him, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Joshua 1:9. That word is also for you today. Do not let fear bind you. Let faith lead you, for you are never alone. My child, after every storm, after every tear that has fallen there, awaits a glorious morning I have appointed for you. It is not a random reward, but the result of your steadfastness and faithfulness. When you do not abandon your faith, you not only preserve your soul, but also open the door for me to reveal a glory far greater than your mind could ever imagine. For I am the God who turns ashes into beauty, mourning into garments of praise, and desolate places into blooming gardens. My child, look at the life of Job. People thought his story had ended, his wealth gone, his family lost, his body in pain, his friends doubtful, and even the heavens seemed silent. Yet he cried out, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." Job 1:3-1-5. And in the end I proved that waiting in sorrow is never wasted. I restored him with twice what he had lost, not only to bless him, but to demonstrate for all generations that the blessings after trials are far greater. In the same way, my child, when you remain faithful to walk with me, though darkness surrounds you, you are composing a victory song that heaven will proclaim. The pains that once brought you low will become the foundation of your triumph. The tears that once felt meaningless will shine like jewels in a crown of glory. And the most wondrous of all is this: you yourself will become a living testimony for countless others, struggling in the night, that there is indeed a God who never abandons his children. My child, the blessings I give are not limited to material wealth or outward comfort. True blessing is found in a soul that rests secure in peace. When you have me, you possess what the world cannot give nor take away: a joy not tied to circumstances, a freedom unbound by chains, a strength not born of muscle, but of the Spirit. This blessing outlasts all silver and gold, endures beyond all fame, and shines brighter than any earthly glory. My child, remember that I do not grant you victory merely for your own enjoyment. The glory I reveal in your life is meant to be a light for many others, that they too may come to know that I am the source of life, the wellspring of hope, and the giver of strength. Just as when Paul and Silas sang praises to me in the prison, the chains did not only fall from them but also from the other prisoners, and even the jailer and his household were saved. Glory never stops at one individual. It always spreads, it always reaches across generations, and it always opens doors you never expected. My child, sometimes I allow you to walk through a long journey, not because you are weak, but because I am preparing you for a greater influence. True glory does not come through haste, but through maturity. When you learn patience, you learn stewardship. When you endure suffering, you learn compassion. When you know what it means to lack, you gain the ability to comfort others in their distress. And when you experience my grace in the deepest valleys, you can boldly proclaim to the world that this grace is real, it is sufficient, and it is transformative. My child, the glory I am about to give you will not resemble the glory that the world chases. The world seeks splendor to feed the ego, but I bestow glory upon you to exalt my name. The world desires power to dominate, but I grant power so that you may serve. The world craves fame to be idolized, but I raise you up to become an instrument of love. The glory from me will not separate you from others, but will humble you even more, because you will know that without my grace you could never have stood firm until this day. My child, open your heart wide, for what I have prepared for you surpasses your imagination. As I have spoken, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him. 1 Corinthians 2:9. What I am about to give is not a fragment, but fullness. Not leftovers, but a complete inheritance. Not a fleeting spark, but a dawn that never fades. And when you step into it, you will realize that every tear, every weight, every step in the dark was leading you to this very moment. My child, the most precious gift you will receive is not merely a change of circumstances, but the transformation of your very soul. You will find that your heart is now stronger, your spirit more generous, and your faith deeper. You will no longer tremble before adversity, for you know I am with you. You will no longer be swept away by discouragement, for you trust that my promises are sure. You will no longer live merely to survive, but to shine, to love, and to reveal me to the world. And finally, my child, when you look back on the path you have walked, you will no longer see only pain, but you will see my hand guiding you. You will recognize that every twist, every closed door, and every long night was woven by me into a masterpiece of beauty. You will understand that you never walked alone, but that every step bore my footprints beside yours. And you will see that the greatest reward is not in what you achieved, but in me, the one who was with you, who upheld you, who redeemed you, and who will love you forever. My child, I want you to know that you are standing at the threshold of a new era. This is not just another ordinary season, nor is it a repetition of old cycles, but a divinely appointed beginning. Everything you have experienced in the past, both glory and bitterness, both triumph and failure, has been only preparation for the greater things I have planned. Do not regard the past days as meaningless trials, for every drop of sweat, every tear, every whispered prayer has been gathered by me to become seeds for a new harvest. My child, I have not led you into a journey only to let you wander endlessly in a barren wilderness. Remember the people of Israel when I brought them out of Egypt. They were not lost, but I had appointed them a winding path so that they would learn to trust me, so that they would know that true freedom is not merely escape from chains, but living under the guidance of the Creator. In the same way, the days when you felt lost and trapped were the very times I was shaping you into a vessel ready for a higher calling. Not every winding road means confusion. Sometimes It is heaven's classroom to prepare you for greater responsibility. My child, in the new era that I am about to unveil, what matters most is not how much wealth you possess or how many outward achievements you gain, but whether you remain faithful to me. For those who seek only the external light without tending to the flame within will easily lose their way. I have not called you to chase the applause of the world, but to stand firm upon the foundation of my word. For the world changes, the heart of man changes, but my word stands forever. When you hold tightly to my word, you will not be swept away by storms, and as you walk faithfully, you will see the doors I open that no one can shut. My child, many in this world pursue grand dreams while neglecting the preparation of the inner life. They desire to stand on the mountaintop without passing through the valley. They want to reap the harvest without sowing the seed. But I teach you this truth. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Luke 1:6-10. You cannot expect to reap in the new season unless you have first been faithful in sowing each seed in silence. The new era is not a sudden shift without reason, but the fruit of patient endurance through the process. Therefore, my child, do not despise the small daily acts, for they are the very foundation upon which you will step into your greater destiny. My child, I call you to step out of fear, for fear will always try to chain you to the past. It will tell you that you are not enough, that you have failed too many times, that you are unworthy to enter into the new. But remember this, I do not see you as the world sees you. I do not measure you by your past mistakes, but by the plan I wrote for you before the foundations of the earth. When I called Moses, he felt unskilled and slow of speech, yet I, myself, placed words in his mouth. When I called Jeremiah, he said he was too young, but I declared, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations, Jeremiah 1:5. In the same way, my child, do not let the fear of your past or the limitations of your present hinder you from stepping into the new era I have ordained for you. My child, this new era is not for you alone, but so that many others may encounter my love through your life. When I transform you, it is not only for your blessing, but that you may become a vessel of blessing to others. Just as I chose Abraham and said, I will bless you, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. Genesis 1:2-3. So it is with you. Therefore, my child, do not think that this journey is only for your personal benefit, but see it with a greater vision. It is a divine commission for you to become light, to become salt, to become a living testimony of my boundless grace. My child, I remind you that this new era cannot be entered with a half-hearted spirit. It requires a surrendered heart. You cannot step into the new while clinging to the chains of the old. You cannot long for transformation while holding tightly to the patterns of the past. Just as Israel could not carry the pots of slavery into the promised land, neither can you carry the weight of old habits, unhealthy relationships, or limiting mindsets into the destiny I have prepared for you. Only when your hands are empty can I fill them with what is new and good. My child, know that this new era is not brought about by human effort, but by my grace. You cannot create it by yourself, but you can prepare your heart to receive it. Just as a farmer cannot create the rain, but can plow the soil, sow the seed, and wait, so must you prepare with faithfulness, prayer, and obedience. And when the appointed time comes, I will pour out the rain of blessing, and the seeds you have sown will yield an abundant harvest. My child, do not fear if you feel small in the face of the mission ahead. For I do not seek the perfect, I seek the surrendered. I do not require you to have everything, for I am your everything. I do not expect you to build your own strength, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. And as you step into this new era, what sets you apart will not be your talent, but my presence with you. My child, in order to step into the new era, your soul must first be transformed. You cannot carry an old mindset into a new destiny. What I am doing is not merely changing outward circumstances, but more importantly, renewing you from within. As Paul wrote, "You must be made new in the attitude of your minds, and put on the new self." Ephesians 4:2-3. Therefore, my desire for you is not the display of outward success, but a heart that has been reborn, a mind that thinks according to my word, and a soul that lives in my presence. My child, spiritual transformation begins when you learn to release what has bound you. There are chains not upon your hands or feet, but buried deep within your mind and memory. There are wounds from the past. You still cling to accusations. You still believe fears that still dictate your steps. I am calling you to lay them all at the foot of the cross. For it is there that I bore every pain, every sin, and every shame on your behalf. When you release them, you will discover a new strength rising within you, the true freedom given by the Spirit. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:1-7. My child, transformation does not happen in a single dramatic moment, but in the quiet choices of daily obedience when you choose surrender over compromise, forgiveness over bitterness, prayer over complaint. These hidden decisions are the bricks and stones that build your new life. Do not think that only great events will change your destiny. It is the small daily choices that truly shape who you become in this new era. Each time you choose to follow my word in the little things, you are laying a firm foundation for great doors to be opened. My child, inner transformation also requires that you learn to see yourself through my eyes. The world may label you as weak, as a failure, as inadequate, but I call you by a new name: redeemed, chosen, set apart, beloved. When you embrace that identity, you will walk free from the chains of shame and inferiority. Do not let the words of others define you. Only my word is your true identity. And when you stand in that identity, you will no longer be shaken by criticism or seek the approval of the world, for you will know that you have already been accepted by me. My child, spiritual transformation also means allowing my Spirit to cleanse your thoughts. There are patterns of thinking, long ingrained selfishness, fear, limitation. They are invisible walls that hinder your progress. But my Spirit comes to break them down and replace them with heavenly perspective. You will learn to see not through earthly sight, but through the lens of my kingdom. You will understand that what people call impossible, I declare certain. What the world sees as an end, I call a beginning. What you once thought was failure, I transform into the foundation for victory. My child, this transformation is not for your blessing alone, but so you may become a witness. The world does not need more empty words. It longs to see lives truly changed. When they see one who once lived in sorrow now walk in peace, one who once wandered in darkness now walking in the light, one who once stood in weakness now standing firm in faith, they will know that I am the living God. You are the living letter I write for the world to read. You are the proof that my grace is not theory, but transforming power. My child, transformation is also an ongoing process. Do not think that one prayer is enough. I am calling you to walk daily in sanctification. Just as gold is refined through fire, so your life will pass through the flames of trial. But do not fear, for I do not allow the fire to consume you, only to burn away what does not belong to me. As you pass through, you will emerge brighter, purer, and reflecting my image more clearly. Believe this: every trial does not come to destroy you, but to prove that your faith is genuine. My child, spiritual transformation is also learning to love the way I love. The world teaches you to return hatred with hatred, but I teach you to love even your enemies. The world teaches you to fight in order to gain more, but I teach you to sacrifice in order to be blessed. The world teaches you to hold tightly, but I teach you to give. When you learn to love as I love, to forgive as I forgive, and to give as I have given, that is when you are truly transformed. It is also then that the world will recognize the difference within you, for they will see a love that does not come from man, but from the living one dwelling in you. My child, remember that spiritual transformation is not forced, but the natural result of drawing near to me. When you dwell in my presence, darkness cannot stand. When you remain in my light, old habits are broken. When you yield yourself to the Holy Spirit, you will see your own life renewed day by day. Do not attempt to transform yourself by your own strength. Let me accomplish that work within you. Your part is simply to surrender, and I will bring the rest to completion. My child, this transformation is the key to stepping into the new era. Without it, you will carry old patterns of thought, old reactions, and you will recreate the same cycles in a new season. But when you are truly renewed, you will not only enter a new time, but live out its true meaning. You will no longer be one controlled by circumstances, but one sent by me to govern circumstances. You will no longer be a victim of trials, but a warrior of my kingdom. And through it all, my glory will be revealed not only to you, but to many others. My child, the transformation I have worked in your life is not merely for you to live in private peace, but to become an instrument in my hand. Every step I have led you through, every wound you have endured, every trial you have overcome, has been woven by me into a mission. Not one tear has been wasted. Not one night of sorrow has been meaningless. All of it has been used to prepare you for this moment, the moment of commissioning. My child, you were not only saved, but also sent. Not only to receive blessings, but to become a channel of blessing for multitudes. My child, remember the disciples of old. They were not people of power, nor were they trained in prestigious schools. They were fishermen, tax collectors, ordinary men. Yet when I called, they left everything and followed me. It was their obedience that made them pillars of the early church. In the same way, my child, what I require of you is not extraordinary ability, but a willing heart. When you respond to my call, I will take what is small in your hands and turn it into a tool to transform the world. My child, the mission I have placed upon your life is not for your glory, but that my name may be exalted. Therefore, do not fear that you are not skilled enough, not strong enough, or not wise enough. It is in your weakness that my power is displayed. When you rise and say, "Here I am, Lord, send me," that is when heaven rejoices and my power is poured out. For I do not choose the perfect, I choose the willing. You do not need to prove your worth before the world, for I have already determined your value by the blood of the spotless Lamb. My child, the holy mission I entrust to you will not always be easy. It will lead you to places you have never been, bring you to meet people you never imagined, and sometimes thrust you into battles unseen by others. But do not be afraid, for I, the one who sends you, will also go with you. As I spoke to Joshua, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. You are never alone in the mission, for I am your companion, your protector, and the one who gives you strength. My child, understand that a divine mission is not only found in preaching or in great works, but also in every small act of love. When you lift up someone who has fallen, when you share bread with the hungry, when you pray for the one in pain, you are fulfilling the mission I entrusted to you. Do not despise small things, for it is through the small that my heart is revealed to the world. The mission is not only about going far, but about living faithfully, where you are reflecting my light in every circumstance. My child, I also call you to be a voice in a world filled with darkness. You are not sent to please men, but to proclaim the truth. Even if the world mocks, resists, or persecutes, remember that your mission is to bear witness to the light. When you declare the truth, my word will pierce hearts like a double-edged sword. Some will oppose it, but others will be broken open and ready to receive the light of salvation. Do not let opposition silence you, for I have placed my word in your mouth that you may proclaim it. My child, this mission also carries a generational weight. What you do today will not only shape your life but leave a legacy for those who come after you. Just as Abraham obeyed, and from him an entire nation was blessed, so your obedience today will open doors for many after you. You are not living only for yourself, but writing a story that belongs to a lineage of faith. Do not underestimate your steps, for every act of obedience clears a path for the next generation. My child, in this new era, I need those who not only hear my word but act upon it. Do not let your faith remain as mere feeling, but turn it into concrete action. Pray, but also step forward. Believe, but also act. For faith without works is dead, James 2:6. You are called not only to hold faith for yourself, but to carry that faith into a world drowning in despair. My child, remember that in this mission I do not only give you responsibility, but also authority. You do not walk in your own name, but in mine, the name above every name. When you pray in my name, chains must fall, prison, doors must open, and darkness must retreat. You are not a soldier of this world, but a warrior of the heavenly kingdom. Use that authority to bring light into the dark, to heal the brokenhearted, and to declare freedom for the captive. My child, offer your life as a living sacrifice. Hold nothing back, for all that is yours is mine. When you lay everything upon the altar, I will multiply it and make it a mighty instrument for advancing my kingdom. You will witness the miraculous when one life is fully surrendered. For I do not seek your possessions, but your yielded heart. When you give yourself completely, I will use you beyond anything you ever imagined. And my child, finally remember that this mission is not a burden, but a privilege. To be chosen, sent, and used by me is proof that you are part of my great design. Walk with joy, for you are not laboring toward a fleeting goal, but taking part in an eternal plan. Every word you speak, every act you do, every soul you touch will echo in eternity. Walk with the assurance that my glory will shine through you, and the world will know that I am the Lord. My child, now is the time when my glory will be revealed more clearly in your life and upon the earth. The years of waiting, the long days of testing, the nights when you felt abandoned, all have been leading to this moment. My child, lift up your eyes, for the dawn has broken. This is not merely a continuation of yesterday, but a breakthrough, a new era I have appointed for you to enter. In this era, my glory will not remain distant, but will rest upon you, shine through you, so that the world will know that I am the living God. My child, do you still remember the prophecy of Isaiah? The glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Isaiah 6:01. That word is now being fulfilled. I have prepared you like a lamp hidden in the dark, now lifted by my hand to shine for the nations. My light will not be obscured by the opposition of the world, nor extinguished by the darkness of the enemy. My child, the light I have placed within you will blaze brighter as the night grows thicker, and it is in that very darkness that my glory will be seen more clearly than ever before. My child, the reward for obedience is not merely comfort in the soul, but transformation at the very root. I have promised to turn mourning into dancing, ashes into crowns of beauty, tears into songs of joy, and now I will fulfill that promise. You will see that the very places which once brought pain will become fields blooming with joy. The very tears you once shed in secret will flow into streams of blessing. You will look back and realize that no sacrifice was ever wasted, for everything you laid down has become the foundation upon which I display my glory. My child, my glory is not revealed to you alone, but so that all may witness it. I will silence the mocker and cause those who despised you to stand in awe. Those who thought you had fallen will see you rise stronger than ever. Not because of your own strength, but because I am your strength. Not because you deserve it, but because my grace covers you. And this very truth will make it undeniable to the world that there is a living God who still acts and who has chosen you to display his glory. My child, understand that my glory is unlike the glory of man. People seek glory in fame, wealth, and power. But my glory is revealed in love, healing, restoration, and new life. I did not come to give you a throne of gold and silver, but a throne of everlasting glory in my eternal kingdom. I did not come to make you merely prominent before the world, but to make you a living testimony that my grace is stronger than sin, my life is stronger than death, and my love is stronger than all separation. My child, in this new era, I will lift you not only to receive glory, but to reflect it. Just as the moon reflects the light of the sun, so you will mirror my light to humanity. As you walk in humility, my glory will shine even brighter. As you seek no honor for yourself, my name will be exalted. And as you return all glory to me, I will continue to increase my glory upon your life. My child, prepare yourself to witness what you have never seen before. I will open doors you never imagined could be opened. I will grant opportunities you never dared to dream of. I will lead you to places beyond your imagination, not to make your name known, but that my glory may spread to every corner of the earth. And when you stand before those opportunities, remember, it was I who made the way. Not by your striving, but by my guiding hand. It is my presence in your life that will turn the impossible into reality. My child, do not think that my glory is only reserved for some distant future. It is being revealed even now. Every time you pray, heaven is moving. Every time you worship, the atmosphere is being transformed. Every time you stand firm in trial, my glory is breaking forth. You need not wait until all things are perfect to see my radiance, for even along the journey, my light is shining. I reveal my glory not only in the final victory, but in every single step you walk with me. My child, let the joy of heaven overflow within your soul. Do not let the past hold you back. Do not let fear restrain you, and do not let doubt dim the light. You are standing in an era of unveiling, of revelation, of glory. What has been shut will be opened, what has been hidden will be revealed, and what seemed lost will be restored. And all of this will not come by your strength, but by my power and glory. My child, remember that the greatest reward is not found in what you receive, but in my very presence. I am the reward. I am the inheritance. I am the treasure beyond measure. When you have me, you have everything. And when you walk in the radiance of my glory, you will see that nothing in this world can compare. Silver and gold will fade, power will vanish, fame will wither, but my glory endures forever. Set your heart on what is eternal, that your joy may never be extinguished. My child, in this new era, I am not only calling you to witness my glory, but to walk in my victory. You are no longer weak, no longer a victim of circumstance, but a conqueror through the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. Every chain that once bound you, every shackle that held you in darkness, has now been broken by my authority. You will no longer live in fear, nor be deceived by the voice of the enemy, but will walk boldly as a child of the King. My child, I am placing a new authority upon your life. This authority does not come from learning or the strength of the flesh, but from my very spirit. You will open your mouth and mountains will tremble. You will pray and the gates of heaven will open. You will declare and truth will shatter lies. For I have promised, behold, I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall harm you. Luke 10:19. That promise is now fulfilled in you. You are no longer controlled, but commissioned to bring victory wherever you set your feet. My child, this victory is not an illusion, but a spiritual reality being revealed in your life. You have endured battles that seemed impossible, yet I have turned each one into a school where you were strengthened. Every scar you carry is no longer a mark of defeat, but a testimony of survival, of the triumph I have given you. You will see that you have not merely overcome, but entered into true freedom. for where my spirit dwells, there is freedom. My child, in this new era, I want you to recognize your true identity. You are not merely a follower. You are a child of the King, an heir of the promise, a warrior in the kingdom. When the enemy looks at you, it trembles not because of you, but because of the one who dwells within you. When you call upon my name, every force of darkness must shudder and retreat. You are clothed in spiritual armor, and the sword of the Spirit in your hand is not only for defense, but for offense, to strike down every scheme of the enemy. Stand firm in this knowledge, for once you know who you are in me, you will never again live as a defeated one. My child, complete victory is not merely escaping the assaults of the enemy, but entering into the abundance I have prepared. I have promised you life, and life in abundance, John 10:10, and now I will fulfill that promise. This abundance is not only in material things, but in joy, peace, hope, and my presence. You will experience that every lack, every emptiness within your heart is filled by me. No more hunger, no more dryness, for the river of life is flowing within you. My child, remember that your victory is also victory for many others. As you live in my power and authority, you will become an instrument to break the chains of others. Those who were once hopeless will find hope in your story. Those who were once fearful will find courage in seeing you stand firm. Those who were once captive will find freedom as you proclaim my word. I did not deliver you only so you could be free, but so that you would become a bearer of deliverance to many others. My child, be watchful, for the enemy will not cease in its attempts. It will continue seeking ways to plant doubt, fear, and discouragement. Yet do not tremble, for you have been given mighty spiritual weapons to demolish every scheme. My word in your mouth is the sword sharper than any double-edged blade. Your prayers are the firepower that causes the enemy's strongholds to crumble. Your faith is the shield that extinguishes every fiery arrow of the evil one. My child, clothe yourself each day with these, and you will see that no force shall prevail against you. My child, in this new era, victory will not only be seen in spiritual battles, but also in the everyday journey of your life. You will behold my hand at work in your labor, in your family, in your relationships, and in the dreams you pursue. You will witness my ordering in every step, every opportunity, every door that opens. What you once thought was a dead end will become a pathway to an expansive future. What you once considered a failure will become a platform for triumph. My child, I turn everything that seemed to stand against you into that which serves your good. My child, stand firm and declare that you are more than a conqueror. Remember, if God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:3-1. You are not fighting to gain a victory. You are fighting from the ground of victory already won. I triumphed at the cross, and that triumph has been imparted to you. Therefore, do not allow the enemy's whispers to steal your confidence. Do not let temporary circumstances cloud your sight. Do not let unfulfilled dreams weigh you down. My child, you are victorious because I have overcome. My child, let this faith burn within you. Whenever you pray, pray as a victor. Whenever you worship, worship as one who has triumphed. Whenever you stand in the midst of trial, remember you do not stand alone, for I am with you. You will see walls collapse, locked gates swing open, and chains shattered. And when you step forth in triumph, remember to return all glory to me, for I alone am the giver of victory. My child, the path you walk on this earth is but a small part of the eternal plan I have ordained for you. What you face in this world is fleeting, but the glory I have prepared for you is everlasting. I want you to know that every tear you shed will be wiped away, every wound you bear will be healed, and every loss you have endured will be restored in abundance in my presence. My child, you are not living merely for this present age, but for a kingdom that cannot fade, for a glory that cannot perish. My child, I have prepared a place for you, just as my son declared, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am there you may be also. John 1:4-2-3. This is not an empty promise, but the foundation of your hope. You do not need to be anxious about tomorrow, nor fear what lies ahead, for eternity has already been secured for you. Every trial today is but a road leading to the throne of glory tomorrow. My child, the hope I give you is not like the fragile hope of this world that fades quickly. The hope you hold in me is a steadfast anchor, keeping you unmoved in the storm. No matter how fierce the waves, no matter how thick the night, you can stand firm, knowing that the dawn of eternity is near. You do not live in uncertainty, but in the assurance that he who promised is faithful. I have begun a good work in you, and I will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Philippians 1:6. My child, I know there will be times when you are weary, when doubts arise, when the path seems clouded. But remember, the hope I give is not built on emotions or shifting circumstances, but on my very word. When I have spoken, no one can undo it. When I have promised, no power can prevent it. Therefore, hold fast to hope as one clutches a torch in the night, allowing its light to guide your steps. Let hope become a fire within your heart, one that never dies, no matter how the winds and storms rage around you. My child, look back upon the journey you have walked and see that no step has been without meaning. The trials you have faced have taught you patience. The tears you have shed have trained you in trust, and the losses you endured have revealed the true worth of eternity. Nothing you have suffered has been wasted, for I have used it all to shape who you are today. And it is this very refining that prepares you for a glory beyond all comparison. As Paul once wrote, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." 2 Corinthians 4:17. My child, do not let the voices of this world steal away the hope I have placed within you. People may say that your dreams have died, that you have wandered too far to return, that your future is nothing but a chain of failures. But I declare to you that I am the one who brings dry bones back to life, the one who causes the wilderness to blossom, the one who makes a path through the sea and rivers flow in the desert. No circumstance can extinguish the promise I have planted in your heart. Your hope is not built upon the words of man, but upon the solid rock of the promises of the faithful one. My child, this hope is not given for you to keep to yourself alone, but to be shared with those who are in despair. I have called you to be a messenger of hope, so that every word you speak and every action you take sows faith into the hearts of others, assuring them that there is a living God who is still at work. When you smile through sorrow, when you stand firm in the storm, when you continue to love though betrayed you, shine hope into the darkness around you, and through this many will turn and seek me. My child, do not think that hope belongs only to tomorrow. Even today, hope is the strength that carries you forward. At the moment you open your eyes to a new day, hope whispers, "I am still here, and I am still at work." When you close your eyes in the night, hope sings within your heart, "Tomorrow will be different, for I am the one who makes all things new." This hope never sleeps, never fades, for it flows from the Eternal One himself. My child, remember that your ultimate hope does not rest in this world, but in the return of my only Son. That day will come when a new heaven and a new earth appear, when the trumpet sounds and all the saints are lifted in glory. On that day there will be no more mourning, no more sickness, no more death. On that day I will wipe away your tears and place upon you the crown of life. On that day you will see my face, not dimly through a veil, but face to face. My child, this is the eternal hope that can never be taken from you. My child, therefore stand firm, keep the faith, and walk in the light. You are not living only for today, but for eternity. You are not keeping faith only for yourself, but to ignite it in others. And above all, you are not only a bearer of hope, but you are living proof that hope in me will never be put to shame. Walk forward. My child, with eyes lifted for your salvation, is nearer now than ever before. My child, I have led you through the storms, I have dried your tears, I have restored your soul, and I have filled you with an unfading hope. But your journey does not end here. What you have received is not meant to be stored away, but to be shared. What I have sown into your heart is not only for your comfort, but to turn you into a river flowing toward many thirsty souls. My child, I did not call you to remain still, but to move forward. I did not call you only to receive, but also to give. And for this reason I have placed upon you a sacred mission, the mission of carrying my light into a world covered in darkness. My child, remember the days when you were weak. It was in that weakness that I revealed my strength. Remember the moments when you thought all hope was gone. It was in that darkness that I lit a torch so you would know I had never left your side. Those experiences were not in vain, for they became living testimony for you to proclaim to others. You will not speak of a God who is distant, but you will bear witness to a God who has touched your life directly, who lifted you from the depths, who set your feet upon the solid rock. Your story, your tears, your scars now healed, will become a language more powerful than any sermon. My child, I send you forth so that your life may be a living letter read by all. My child, the mission I have entrusted to you is not a burden meant to exhaust you, but an honor that allows you to step into partnership with me. When you open your mouth to comfort the brokenhearted, it is I speaking through you. When you stretch out your hand to lift the fallen, it is my hand moving through you. When you pray for the weak, it is the breath of my Spirit touching their hearts. Therefore, do not think that you must carry the weight by yourself, but believe that every step you take is covered by my strength. As it is written, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, Zechariah 4:6. My child, do not look at yourself and hesitate. Do not believe that you are inadequate, unworthy, or incapable. I did not choose you because of your perfection, but because of your surrender. I do not seek those who are mighty by the world's standard, but hearts that are willing to obey. And when you say, "Here I am, Lord," my power will cover you, turning weakness into strength, smallness into greatness, and imperfection into a perfect instrument for my greater purpose. My child, do not focus on your limitations, but on the one without limits who lives within you. My child, I send you not to walk alone, but to walk with my people. Across the earth, I am calling others to rise together, forming a spiritual army. You are not alone in this journey, but connected to brothers and sisters of faith. They will uphold you when you are weak, and you will strengthen them when they are weary. I am raising a generation who love me more than their own lives, who proclaim the gospel despite the darkness, who remain steadfast in the fire of trial. And you, my child, are part of this army. My child, I do not send you to chase after the approval of men. Your mission is not to seek applause, but to glorify my name. The world may not understand, they may mock, they may oppose, but do not be dismayed. For the glory you seek does not come from this world, but from the one who sits on the throne. You do not labor to be remembered by people, but to be witnessed by heaven that you were faithful. Remember, those who sow in tears shall reap with shouts of joy. Psalm 1, 2, 6, 5. My child, I call you to live differently. While the world rushes after power, you are called to pursue righteousness. While others chase after gain, you are sent to sow love. While the darkness of selfishness and hatred covers the earth, you are set as a lamp to shine, that people may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. My child, never underestimate the power of a surrendered life. A single silent prayer from you can change the destiny of a soul. A single act of love from you can open the door for salvation to enter. My child, I am sending you into a generation thirsty for truth. People are weary of empty promises, disillusioned by hollow temptations. They are searching for something real, lasting, and unshakable. And you, my child, are the answer I am sending to them. You are not the light yourself, but you carry my light. You are not the source of life, but the living water flows out from within you. Do not hide it, do not fear, do not hesitate. This world needs you, for through you they will see me. My child, rise up, step forward, open your heart, stretch out your hand. This is no longer the time for delay or hesitation. The harvest is ripe, souls are crying out, and I am searching for those who will be sent. You are one of them. Let your life become the answer that says, "Here am I, Lord, send me." My child, the mission I have placed upon your life cannot be fulfilled by your own strength. If you try to accomplish it with your own wisdom or ability, you will soon grow weary and faint. But I have not sent you to walk alone. I have given you my Spirit, the Comforter, the Advocate, the Guide, and the inexhaustible source of power. It is my Spirit who will teach you, lead you in every decision, empower your words, and transform your life into a living testimony of my greatness. Therefore, my child, the key to fulfilling your mission is not in your skill but in your obedience to the Spirit. My child, obedience is not always easy. At times, the Holy Spirit will lead you into places you never imagined, call you to do things beyond your own ability, or invite you to walk on the narrow road while others choose the wide path. Yet it is in that surrender that you will witness the manifestation of supernatural power. Remember Abraham when he obeyed my voice, leaving his homeland to journey toward an unknown land. He became the father of many nations. Recall Peter when he cast his net at my word. He drew in such a multitude of fish that his boat nearly sank. Obedience always opens the door to miracles, and you too will experience them if you choose to trust and submit. My child, I want you to understand that obedience is not merely an outward action but the posture of the heart. Some may perform great deeds, yet do so with pride, and such things do not please me. But when someone carries out a small act with complete humility and submission, I count it as precious beyond measure. What I seek is not performance, but a tender heart that says, "Lord, not my will, but yours be done." When you grasp this secret, you will feel lighter, for you will no longer carry burdens alone. Everything will be placed in my hands. My child, obedience to the Spirit also means learning how to listen. His voice is not loud like the storm, nor resounding like thunder. More often, it is a gentle whisper within a subtle yet profound prompting. If you chase after the noise of the world, you may easily miss it. That is why I urge you to learn to be still in my presence, to open your heart to hear, and to remain sensitive to the signs I give. Each time you focus on listening, I will guide you clearly. Each time you obey, you will see doors open and wonders unfold. My child, obedience is always accompanied by power, not the power of this world, but the power from heaven. When you pray in faith, the Spirit strengthens you, so that mountains move, seas part, chains break, and the gates of heaven open. When you proclaim my word, the Spirit breathes upon your speech, transforming it into a sharp sword that pierces hearts. When you lay hands on the sick, my power flows through you to bring healing. When you stand against darkness, the light of the Spirit shines forth, causing demons to tremble and flee. This is why I declared, "You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses." Acts 1:8. My child, do not fear making mistakes or falling short. When your heart sincerely longs to obey, I will shape each step you take. If you wander, I will draw you back. If you grow weak, I will lift you up. If you hesitate, I will encourage you forward. The Spirit is not given to condemn, but to guide. He is the patient teacher, the faithful friend, the constant companion who will never abandon you. So walk with confidence, for you are not alone. My child, I desire for you to be a lamp, always filled with the oil of the Spirit. If you cease to be filled, the flame will fade. But if you continually seek my presence, pray, meditate on my word, and commune with me, the fire within you will burn brightly without end. That light will not only illuminate your own path, but also shine for those wandering in darkness around you. In time, you will see yourself become an instrument used to transform not just one life, but an entire generation. My child, obedience at times will require sacrifice. There will be moments when you must leave comfort behind to go where I send you. There will be times when you remain silent under insult. There will be seasons when you must wait patiently, though your heart is restless. But do not think such sacrifices are meaningless. Every tear, every sigh, every moment of faithfulness is recorded by me. And one day you will see the fruit of your obedience to be far greater than anything you ever imagined. My child, I have called you not only to hear, but to act. Obedience is not confined to theory, but is revealed in every step you take. When you forgive those who have wronged you, that is obedience. When you love your enemies, that is obedience. When you share food and clothing with the needy, that is obedience. And every act, no matter how small, carries within it the power to transform the world. My child, remember that obedience leads to revelation. When you choose to follow the guidance of the Holy Spirit, all of heaven moves with you. What you cannot do, I will accomplish. What you do not know, I will reveal. What you believe to be impossible, I will make possible. And in the end, everything you do will stand as a testimony that the power of God is still at work, still alive, and still saving humanity. My child, the journey you are walking does not end with fleeting results in this earthly life. Every act of obedience, perseverance, and faithfulness is being stored up, preparing you for an eternal glory that will never fade. I have promised, if we suffer with him, we will also be glorified with him. Romans 8:1-7. This means that every tear, every sacrifice, and every long night of hidden prayer is a seed planted in the eternal field, and one day you will enter into a harvest that cannot be compared with any earthly glory. My child, the reward I give to the faithful is unlike the rewards of the world. Earthly glory fades quickly, fame slips into oblivion, and power vanishes with time. But my reward is the crown of righteousness, eternal life, and a seat with me in glory. When your earthly journey ends, the voice you will hear will not be one of criticism or reproach, but my voice declaring, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things, I will make you ruler over many. Enter into the joy of your Lord." Matthew 2:5-3. My child, what greater honor could there be? What more complete reward than to dwell in the joy of my very presence? My child, do not think that the things you do in secret are meaningless. When you strengthen a weary soul, I take notice. When you forgive through your tears, I take notice. When you refuse to compromise with sin in order to keep your heart pure, I take notice. Not a single act of goodness, no matter how small, goes unnoticed. Scripture says God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him. Hebrews 6:10. What mankind may disregard, heaven esteems as precious. And on the final day, everything you have sown in faithfulness will become an eternal reward. My child, the reward I promise is not only reserved for the distant future, even now you will see its fruit. You will see your family transformed. You will see prayers you have lifted for years finally answered. You will see doors that were firmly shut now swing open. You will see hearts once hardened now softened before my word. All these are proofs that your faithfulness has not been in vain. And even when your eyes cannot yet see the results, know this: heaven has recorded it all, and the appointed time I have set will surely come. My child, I want you to live with eternity in view. Do not let your eyes be fixed only on the present, nor let your heart be consumed by temporary struggles. As Paul said, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." 2 Corinthians 4:17. What you endure today is nothing compared to the glory you will one day receive. And when you look back, you will see that every hardship was but a stepping stone that drew you closer to me, and every trial became a doorway into my glory. My child, the ultimate reward is not simply to enter heaven, but to be with me forever. That is the true destination, the greatest joy, the complete fulfillment that nothing on earth can rival. I have promised I go to prepare a place for you, and I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. John 1:4-3. Do you see, my child? The supreme reward is not gold or thrones, but the eternal union between you and me. No more separation, no more tears, no more sorrow, only everlasting joy in my presence. My child, I also want you to know that the reward you receive will not be for you alone, but will extend to the generations after you. When you remain faithful, you are paving the way for your descendants to walk in blessing. When you stand firm, you are laying the foundation for future generations to partake of the fruit. That is why I called Abraham the father of many nations, for his obedience brought blessings to countless generations. In the same way, your faithfulness today will become a spiritual inheritance for those who come after you, that they too may partake of the blessings flowing from your obedience. My child, the day of my return is drawing near. On that day, every earthly kingdom will pass away, every throne will fall, and all worldly power will vanish. Only my eternal kingdom will remain, where the righteous will shine like the sun in the Father's kingdom. My child, keep your heart steadfast until the end, so that when the trumpet sounds, you will stand among those clothed in white robes, holding palm branches in their hands, lifting their voices in the song of victory to him who sits on the placed throne, and to the Lamb be blessing, glory, honor, and power forever and ever. My child, walk in this hope. When you grow weary, remember the eternal reward. When you feel discouraged, remember the unchanging promise. When you face the shadows, remember the glory that awaits ahead. And when you remain faithful until the very end, you will see that every step, every sacrifice, every tear was worth it, for, in the end, you will enter into the fullness of my joy. My child, before I open a new season for your life, the first thing I do is to prepare and sanctify you. For no one can walk through the door of a new chapter if the heart has not been cleansed, if the life has not been placed under complete surrender. I am the holy God, and what I give always bears the mark of holiness. Therefore, you cannot enter into a new season of blessing while still carrying the burdens of the past, the wounds of yesterday, and the remnants of old sin. I want you to lay aside those chains so that you may walk freely in my presence, ready to receive what I have appointed for you. My child, remember that Israel could not step immediately into the promised land when they left Egypt. They had to go through a long journey in the wilderness to be trained, purified, and taught to trust me. In the same way, your new season is not merely about changing circumstances, but about an inner transformation. Before I entrust you with something great, I will teach you how to live worthy of it. Before I open a wide door, I will shape your heart so that when you enter, you will not lose what I place in your hands. Do not see this as a delay, but as divine preparation. My child, sanctification is not merely avoiding sin, but being set apart for me. I want you not only to turn away from what does not belong to me, but also to fix your whole heart upon my will. That is why I have said, be holy, for I am holy. 1 Peter 1:16. Holiness is not simply a state, but a process. It is the daily journey of choosing to lay aside what is unclean to step closer into my light. It is the process of allowing my word to wash your thoughts, of letting my spirit renew your heart so that your life may reflect my glory. My child, understand that preparation is never in vain. When I called Noah to build the ark, many mocked him, thinking his labor was wasted. But when the flood came, that preparation became the salvation of his whole family. In the same way, when I call you to prepare, the world may not understand, but that very preparation will protect you, open the way for you, and ensure that you stand firm in the new season. Do not take lightly the things I ask you to put in order, for every step of obedience is a solid stone in the foundation of your future. My child, in this season of preparation, I will cut away what is unnecessary. It may be relationships that hinder you. It may be habits that harden your spirit. It may be plans you have built without me in them. Whatever does not align with my purpose, I will remove. Do not grieve when I take something away, for I am making room for something better. Just as a gardener prunes away dry branches so the tree may bear much fruit, I too am pruning your life so that you may bear abundant spiritual fruit in this new season. My child, preparation is also the season when I teach you discernment. You must learn to distinguish my voice from the voice of the world, for in this new season many voices will call out and many paths will appear, but only one leads to life. I want you to walk not by emotion, but by the guidance of the Spirit. I want you to know how to hear my word in the midst of noise, so that you will not be led astray. This is why I allow you to experience moments of silence, so that you may practice recognizing the sound of my voice amidst countless other echoes. My child, I want you to understand that preparation is not passive waiting, but active action in faith. When Joshua led the people across the Jordan, I declared, "Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you." Joshua 3:5. This means that today's preparation is the very condition for tomorrow's miracle. If you desire to see my hand move first, let your life be sanctified. If you long to enter the new season, begin by cleansing your spirit, leaving no room for sin or doubt to dwell. My child, I am calling you into this new season, not only with a renewed mind, but also with a heart ready to serve. The new season is not only a place for you to receive, but also a place for you to give. I raise you up not only so you can stand firm, but also so that you can lift others to walk alongside you. I bless you not only for yourself, but that you may become a channel of blessing to many. Therefore, preparation also includes enlarging your heart, learning to love more, forgive more, and become more like me. My child, let this preparation not remain on the surface, but reach deep into your soul. Do not simply change the way you live. Allow me to renew the way you think, the way you feel, the way you see the world. When I prepare you, I do not merely shift circumstances, I transform your very nature. And when you are transformed, you will see that the new season is not only a beginning, but an elevation, a step into a higher dimension in your spiritual journey. My child, keep your heart steadfast. Preparation may be long, but it is never wasted. Sanctification may be difficult, but it is the only doorway to glory. Remember, I am using this very process to make you strong, resilient, and ready for what I have destined. And when my appointed time comes, you will see that every preparation, every sanctification, every surrender was worth it for you. Will step into the new season in the fullness of my grace and glory. My child, I want you to grasp a vital truth. No new season is opened without testing. Before I entrust you with greater responsibility, I will allow you to walk through lessons that measure and refine your faith. These trials are not meant to destroy you, but to make you stronger, wiser, and more steadfast in me. Just as a goldsmith uses fire to remove impurities, I use adversity to purify your heart, that your faith may become more precious than gold or silver. My child, when Abraham was promised descendants as numerous as the stars, he endured years of waiting in the hopelessness of the flesh. When I tested him with Isaac, it was not because I needed a sacrifice, but because I desired to reveal the depth of his faith and complete obedience. In that testing, his faith was proven, and the blessing I had promised became reality. Likewise, what you face today is not to rob you of faith, but to reveal where your faith truly rests. My child, remember, this faith that has never been tested cannot be called mature faith. Faith only truly grows when it is placed in circumstances that seem contrary to the promise. When everything is favorable, trust comes easily. But when darkness surrounds you, when doors are closed, when prayers seem unanswered, that is when faith is truly tested. And in that very moment I draw near to see what you choose to trust in circumstances, or to trust in me, the one who never changes. My child, it is written in the Scriptures, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." James 1:2-4. This means that every trial you go through carries a clear purpose to train endurance, to build maturity, and to make your life whole in me. Do not resent adversity, for it is within adversity that I am shaping and preparing you. My child, what you call burdens, I call training. When Job lost his wealth, his children, and his health, he cried out in anguish. Yet it was in the midst of that trial that he encountered my faithfulness and declared, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." Job 1:3-1-5. In the end I restored him with twice as much as before. Likewise, trials are never the end, but rather the bridge that leads you to greater restoration, deeper grace, and a stronger faith. My child, do not be afraid when you find yourself placed in the fire of testing. I will never allow the fire to burn beyond what you can bear. Every lesson I permit is carefully measured in my wisdom and love. I know your limits, and I also know the hidden potential within you. What I allow is meant to awaken that potential, to reveal a spiritual strength you never realized you carried. You may think yourself weak, but through trials you will see that I have placed within you a supernatural resilience. My child, I do not test you to bring you shame, but to reveal my glory. When Daniel was cast into the lion's den, it was a test of faith. Yet in that place of seeming despair, I sent my angel to shut the mouths of the lions, so that the king and all the people would know that I am the living God. When the 3 friends of Daniel were thrown into the fiery furnace, it was there in the flames, 7 times hotter, that I walked among them, to prove that no fire can consume those who belong to me. In the same way, in your trials you will experience my presence more vividly than ever before. My child, faith is not proven by words alone, but by steadfastness. When everything opposes you, you may claim to believe, but only in testing is that belief refined. That is why I allow circumstances that seem beyond your control, so that you may learn to surrender fully into my hands. You will come to understand that when all else fails, you finally learn to cling to me alone. In that moment, your faith is fortified and you become unshakable. My child, as you prepare for the new season ahead, do not seek to escape trials, but learn to face them through the eyes of faith. Remember that without Goliath, David would never have become king. Without prison, Joseph would never have become governor. Without the cross, there would be no resurrection. Every season of glory is preceded by a season of testing. And if you endure through the testing, you will enter into glory with a faith that is unwavering and a heart that is ready. My child, let every trial be your teacher. Do not see it as an enemy, but as an instrument I use to shape you. Let it teach you patience, humility, and faithfulness. Let it teach you that my faithfulness surpasses every storm. And let it engrave deeply in your heart the truth that I will never forsake you, even when you walk through the fire. As you pass through these days, your faith will become a living testimony that I am the God who keeps his promises and never changes. My child, stand firm. Do not falter in the face of adversity. Do not be afraid when you feel tested. Know that this is a sign that I am preparing to lead you into a new season. And when that season comes, you will look back and realize that every trial carried value, for it was through them that you were refined and shaped into a vessel useful in my hands. My child, I want you to understand that every trial, every waiting, every refining process ultimately leads to one crucial point: obedience. If faith is the seed, then obedience is the fruit. If faith is the foundation, then obedience is the house built upon it. No new season can open for you without complete obedience. For it is obedience that proves your heart is ready to place everything into my hands. My child, remember that what pleases me is not great offerings or empty promises, but a heart that obeys. As Samuel once said to Saul, "To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams." 1 Samuel 1:5-2. You may offer me many things, but without obedience, they become meaningless. For obedience reveals love, loyalty, and absolute trust in me. My child, true obedience is not always easy. At times it requires you to surrender your own will, even the things you hold most dear. Yet it is in that surrender that you discover greater blessings. Abraham obeyed when I called him to leave his homeland and journey to a land he did not know. Moses obeyed when he returned to Egypt to confront Pharaoh, though once he had fled in fear. Mary obeyed when she accepted the promise of conceiving by the Holy Spirit, even though it meant facing scorn and reproach. Their obedience opened new seasons, not only for themselves, but for all my people. My child, obedience is not a single act, but a way of life. Obedience in the small daily matters prepares you for obedience in greater things. When you are faithful in carrying out what I have entrusted to you in the present, you prove yourself trustworthy to receive greater responsibility. As Jesus said, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Luke 1:6-10. Thus your faithfulness and obedience now are the keys that unlock the doors of future grace and responsibility. My child, genuine obedience is not built upon feelings, but upon trust. There will be times when you do not fully understand the path I lead you, on times when my commands seem contrary to logic. But in those moments, obedience becomes the evidence that you trust me more than your own wisdom. Noah did not understand why he was to build an ark in the desert, yet he obeyed. And through that obedience, his family was saved. Joseph did not understand why he was unjustly imprisoned, yet he remained faithful, and it was his obedience that lifted him to the throne of Egypt. My child, obedience does not only bring blessings upon you alone, but it also influences generations to come. One act of obedience on your part can open the door of salvation for your entire household. A single step of faithfulness can become a spiritual inheritance for your descendants. Look at Abraham. Through his obedience, nations were blessed. Look at the obedience of Jesus on the cross. Through it, humanity was redeemed. Never underestimate the power of one act of obedience, for it can alter the destiny of many generations. My child, obedience sometimes means walking down the path less chosen. The world will not understand, those around you may mock, and even those closest to you may oppose. But remember, obedience does not require the approval of the majority. It only requires your heart to be aligned with mine. When Noah built the ark, he was ridiculed. When Abraham left his homeland, he was thought to be foolish. When Moses led the people out of Egypt, they grumbled against him many times. Yet it was in that lonely obedience that my glory was revealed. My child, I want you to understand that obedience is the very key that unlocks the new season. You may have prayed for years. You may have wept and asked me to move, but the key still lies in obedience. If I call you to let go of something, let it go. If I call you to forgive, then forgive. If I call you to walk a new path, then walk. Do not delay, do not calculate, for hesitation in obedience may cause you to miss the very moment I have appointed for you. My child, true obedience is not only in the action but also in the posture of the heart. You may outwardly do what I say while inwardly reluctant, but that is not true obedience. Real obedience is carried out in trust and in love. Just as Jesus, when he prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, said, "Yet not my will, but yours be done," Luke 2:2-4-2. That is perfect obedience, and it is the example for you to follow. My child, let obedience become the very rhythm of your life. Let faithfulness be the foundation of every decision. When you live a life of obedience, you will see the door of a new season swing open before you. And when you step through, you will realize that every trial, every waiting, every sacrifice was never in vain, for they prepared you for this very moment. My child, be ready. Do not let stubbornness or fear hold you back. Do not let other voices draw you away from obedience. Keep your heart pure, your ears attentive, and your steps yielded to the leading of the Holy Spirit. For only those who obey fully can enter fully into the grace I have prepared. My child, now I want you to look back on the journey you have traveled. From the days you were drenched in tears to the nights you prayed in silence, from the moments you thought you had lost everything to the turning points I opened unexpectedly. None of these were accidents, nor were they meaningless chains of events, but each was carefully woven by my hand within my plan. I am the God of beginnings and the God of completions. Not one promise I have planted in your life will ever fall to the ground in vain. When I speak, I will surely fulfill. Beloved one, what you are witnessing today is my faithfulness. After all the years you have walked patiently in faith, the seasons in which you thought you were forgotten were in truth the seasons in which I was quietly laying a firm foundation to prepare you for this day. Just as a seed must first die in the soil hidden in darkness and loneliness, yet within it life silently multiplies until at the appointed time it breaks forth, reaching toward the light, growing into a tree bearing much fruit. So it is with your life. The years of being buried were not an end, but a season of planting, and now I bring you into the harvest. My dear child, remember that I never work in haste. My timing is always perfect, and my completion always surpasses your expectations. You may have thought that your prayers were delayed, but in truth, I have been arranging every detail so that when I open the door, you will step into it fully prepared. I do not desire to give you only a temporary result, but rather a lasting foundation, an unshakable inheritance. That is why sometimes you must wait, and at times you must endure loss. But all of it was so that today you may see that my completion is worthy of every tear you have shed. Beloved one, the fulfillment I bring is not merely a compensation for what you have lost, but a revelation of my glory through your life. When people look upon you, they will not be able to explain it through ordinary reasoning. For it is not your strength or wisdom that has brought you here, but my mighty hand. As the scripture declares, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit. Zechariah 4:6. And it is this truth that will cause many to recognize that I am the living God. My child, look back at the old wounds within your heart. Once they were the pain that seemed unbearable, making you think you could not go on. But now I have turned them into living testimonies of my grace. The places that once bled now flow with the springs of witness. The barren grounds now blossom with life. You will see that no suffering has been wasted, and no loss has been meaningless. For I have woven all things together into the tapestry of glory upon which you now walk. My child, my completion does not touch only your personal life, but it spreads to your family, your community, and even generations to come. When I complete a work in you, I am also beginning a new work through you for others. Just as with Joseph, his fulfillment was not only about being raised to power, but also about providing a way for an entire nation to survive famine. Likewise, what I am bringing to completion in you is not solely for your own benefit, but so that many others may be blessed through your obedience. My child, guard your heart carefully as you step into this season of completion. For there will be those who marvel, there will be those who envy, and there will be dark powers that try to distract you. But remain steadfast, for this completion was not earned by your striving, but given by my hand. No force can take away what I have decreed. As the scripture says, What I open no one can shut, and what I shut no one can open. Revelation 3:7. Rest assured that this blessing cannot be shaken, for it is sealed by me alone. Beloved one, I want you to know that completion does not mean the end, but rather the opening of a new chapter. Everything you have walked through has been only the beginning, preparing you for a deeper maturity. The fulfillment of one promise is the foundation upon which I will reveal even greater things. Do not see this as a stopping point, but as a doorway into a broader journey where you will continue to be my witness. My child, lift up your head. Breathe deeply the air of this season of fulfillment. Let your heart overflow with gratitude for all that I have done, am doing, and will continue to do in your life is to show that I am the faithful God, the one who never breaks his promise. Let your lips be filled with praise. Let your life become a living hymn, for it was your faithfulness in the darkest nights that has led to the radiant completion you now behold. If these words have touched your heart, I invite you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you may continue to walk in each step of faith where God's word lights your path and his love guides you every day. The Lord is with you. Amen.